All right. So this is me explaining why I'm waiting 11 years for the VA, Veterans Affairs, to pay me what I believe they owe to be $127,293. Basically, because of this error right here, which was just in a letter explaining what was in a letter. And we'll go in depth if I need to. But basically, just know in November 1st, 2011, the person speaking was still in the Marine Corps. So logically, and in all reality, that is what's been screwing me over for the past 11 years. We're in 2024 now. But anyway, because of that error from 2012 basically up to 2018, there was missed payments, retroactive payments, which I've calculated through charts on spreadsheets. And again, if I'm off by any numbers, it might be less than $100. And it all comes back to this error, which is here. Because again, that date of November 1st, 2011 shouldn't affect anything. But I, through my Marine Corps knowledge and just common sense, figured out exactly what's been going on. Mind you, here's my EAS date. The date I ended active service. EAS. End of active service. 2012. May 7th. So, by that, and the Marine Corps, I redacted some information. Because this channel, we're going to pretend all my information's not out there. But, I mean, if you want to find me, I'm not that hard to find. Okay? I'm just doing this for fresh eyes. Whoever's jumping on train in 2024 for my protest, this should fill you in. We're on day 52. So, basically what's going on is we have two differences of opinions, which all start on different dates. Original award, June 1st, 2012. But for all argument's sake, we're going to say this is the first day I got the letter, right? Let's just say that whatever. First day in reality. This is the error reality. This is the reality I should be in. Not there yet. Overall reality is somewhere over here. So this is the VA and ultimately what I believe to be the VFW by pure coincidence. Which I'll explain later. So there's the two realities. Boom. My actual EAS was one day before. So my first ever record of account for anything in the VA should be this date, unarguably. If I have the DD-214 to prove it, which I do, should be undeniable. But anyway, this is where it all started. So I was getting some money per month because I was 20% disabled. Now, mind you, in 2018, I'm 100% disabled because of shit. This ultimately changes to 70. This I don't even pursue, just because like the more I pursued healthcare, the more issues I would get just overall, and you'll see eventually what I mean. So this is just knee issues, which I always wanted to get my knees taken care of because my grandfather served and he had like 2 knee replacements. I didn't want replacements. I wanted to just be on top of that shit because why would I go through the trauma he went through? When he explained, he didn't even have to explain. You just look at his scars on his legs and say, hey, what are those? Oh, knee replacements. Because I was in Vietnam or Korea, whatever one he was in. So that's the original dates. Boom. That's what my first date of entry in the VA system should be. Boom. That should be the first day. In their system, because of this error, which I believe is the VFW, because mind you, this binder right here is almost 4,000 pages, which was basically delivered to my front door. And this is all the information on there. This box right here, I cut out and put it in the envelope because it has my name and address and everything, but this channel's not going to have that, hopefully. But again, I make it no secret of who I am. If you want to see who I am in real life, I'm not hard to find. But yeah. So this is like ultimately the record before the public. Everyone could see. And even that, the Sharpie, I did to redact information. Okay? But why I believe it's the VFW is because of this. Okay. This, by pure coincidence, it was stamped. So this, in my ultimate record binder, this is just copies right here. This is red and this is blue, or vice versa, one or the other. Again, I'm not trying to investigate. I'm just trying to find out where the error ultimately is. So this was stamped in red. That was written on there in blue, and this is what it was. All the black Sharpies is me, redacting information. But again, same paper. Like, this is my pile of just compiled errors to show what I'm saying is true. This is the 4,000 before the record with every record ever made. But you see the papers are the same. The only thing different between mine is the stamp and the date. But ultimately, I'm going back. I'm not even using that as the first record entry. Using this date just for argument's sake. I should be using that ultimately because that's the original award. So everything from this date backwards to that date should be retroactive payments. But that should have been like, if I was going to argue anything, that should have been the argument date in reality. But for argument's sake and basically for the sake of easiness, to not get too caught up, we're just going to use this, my EAS date, because that's unarguable, as my first record of entry. So, now they are the official records right here. Now, this right here, you have 1 year from the date of this letter to appeal the decision, right? Mind you, at that time, you actually didn't appeal first. You went to reconsideration. So basically, like, I would go state everything that's wrong with me, and then they'd have to run their tests. And in that meantime, it's not like you don't get credibility for your argument's sake. In this case, me being disabled / injured. So yeah, everything I'm saying definitely is just the last retroactive payment that's supposed to be made for my case. But anyway, so back to this one. The VFW date, by an error, goes back to then. So if you have 1 year, well, we can simplify this math real quick. So it would be 12 is the year. And then the date, well, what's October's last date? 31st. Halloween. Everyone knows October has 31 dates. So this would be the error 1 year, right? Of window where I'm supposed to file any appeals. But at this point in time, in reality, it's called a reconsideration. It's a side note, doesn't really matter. Now, if we go a year from this date, well, look at that. It doesn't even matter if you have to go back to the last month. Right? That's 1 year. Okay. Now this is where it gets tricky. Why are we split? Because of that error. Okay. Now, I'm going to leave these over here and just use my records for argument's sake, but everything I'm saying can be found in there. I just wanted to show you the real beginning. Because hopefully this summarization will be the one and only video I have to post on YouTube, right? Anyway. So, boom. That date. That date. Same shit. Again, these Sharpies are me. Right there is acknowledgement, the first date. May 8th, 2012. Not November 1st, 2011. Remember that. That's the big thing here. And then here's basically in 2014. Now, mind you, the VA always works backwards, so like all this shit is really in regards to 2013 affairs, which is here. Now, this is my reconsideration. The anxiety went from 0, May 8th, to 50 on April 18th, 2013. Now, here we go. What's that date again? Oh, April 18th, 2013. Now, this is where it splits, maybe. Let's figure it out. Is April 18th, 2013 before May 7th? Yes. So we're going to copy that here. And that's the mark for copy. But unless you know where it's coming from, you think it might be an 11. Oh, whoops. Okay. Now, this date. Does this date right here come before this date? No? So this comes after? Oh. So this is where it gets fucked up, right? Because I'm arguing, no. Look back at the record and fix those records. Don't make new records, which is what's been done here, and I think that attributes to that. Because I believe they closed it on this. Because I know how the filing system works, because I used to work at Geek Squad Best Buy. We had the same thing, just not in regards to health records and computer records. So if you come to a Best Buy, you're supposed to have all your products under one account. But every time you buy a new product, it generates a new account. So you don't have to look through thousands or hundreds of records, but sometimes there's like 3 or 4 you have to look through and figure out, you know? So I get that. Now, again, these dates, this is where the fuck up occurred. Because of that error that the VFW did. Now, again, it might not have been the VFW. Anyone could put 3 initials on there. Maybe it stood for Verizon's Future Wireless. Who knows? All I know is that's where the error occurred under the umbrella of who? Like, this could be anyone. But that date and that umbrella right there. So whoever, like, this is the umbrella. So anyone that falls under the umbrella would be that. So they should be responsible for them. Which makes 2 people responsible for an error. Which ultimately in 2024, when this occurred in 2012, is forgery. After it's already been fraud and I've proven where it was fucked up and how to fix it is paying me the money. But that's just for this. Ultimately, the grand plan now is to sue for $10 million for malpractice. Because this is just the fraud and forgery part. Anyway, this date, right? So if I got this decision in May 8th, 2012, and I have a whole year to appeal it. But at that time, again, it was a reconsideration. So we collectively should have had even more time to play with, not cut me short. So a year. Again, this is the official record, not mine. I just did the Sharpies here. These are my records, which we'll all get into later. But yeah. So unless it was after May 7th, 2013, all my records should go back to this date. So I applied that in the 1 year on April whatever. So I should have had that retroactive payment, but since I didn't, that part is what's all contributing to the green portion of what they owe me still. From 2018 and beyond, I'm okay. Like everything caught up to the current systems, basically, more or less. But we're going to dive into this more if I need to after this video. But I think this video gives a lot of information. So now in 2014, everything has been changed to 2018 instead of going back to the date. So basically, I get paid for it. They need to make their records look better. So basically, this is where I stand now in the summarization. And if I need to, I can walk you through every year, year by year. But that's the only one that stayed the same. Isn't that weird? All these other ones changed. Now, if we're going back to remember, April 18th, 2013, that falls before my reality, but not in their era reality. So any date after October 31st, 2012, you'd have to call to change the record, right? Through that one weird note that we found. I guess these people that decided to put the new record in, because they're only seeing this. Because if you're seeing this date and you're in the VA system, you're looking at this. In my reality, this is what it is. Still an argument over the 1 year that ultimately attributed for them missing 6 years. Because this is the first example, but this happened multiple times, which made my percentages ultimately go from 20 to 100, when it should have been 100 the whole time. And I should have been getting proper health care, not conspired against. Like this part, I look back on not too long ago, because I don't enjoy going back on these records, because it is time travel. But VSR stands for Veteran Service Rep, and they're telling, so the Veteran Service Rep says, hey, please tell veteran your VA examiner reported your sleep problems are more likely related to anxiety and not a respiratory condition. Doesn't matter. Sleep apnea is sleep apnea. We got to figure out where the cause is and nip it in the butt. But a VSR is telling a doctor what to say. And the only reason I found that out is pure coincidence. Oh, whoops. Imagine if they deleted that. Like, imagine what else is supposed to be between all those lines. And mind you, at this time that they're blaming the anxiety, it's rated 0%. Which, again, is included in my calculation that I should have been at 100 the whole time. But yeah, let me fast forward you to the end of the record. Sorry, there's just a bunch going on. So that's the this is what the dates are now. But this is what they should all go back to. So again, from 2018 forward, like until forever, I'm good. I have nothing bad to say about the VA. But I have a lot to say from 2012 to 2018. And the only way I get shut up about that is by getting the money I've calculated. Again, the numbers might be off, but if so, it's not by more than inflation at the time. And those times, it was only like less than $10 a year. So again, if my calculations are off, they're less than 100. Please correct. Otherwise, pay attention and unfuck it, because I've been through all the VA I can in Coatesville, Philadelphia, and even through the United States Court of Appeals for veteran claims. So this was beyond just the veteran court. This was the United States Court of Appeals for veterans claims. And I just feel in this case, I was poorly represented. But hey, thank God I got this cool pen, right? Right? Thank God I got that cool pen. Imagine if I had the $127,000 instead of this cool pen explaining again why they still owe me money because of that error. But anyway, this is the initial error that shows fraud and forgeries committed against me. And this channel is not going to have any personal information, but if you want to find me, I'm not that hard to find. Thank you.